Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. All right, we're going to start off talking about a big project going on in the Grand Bahamas. They are going to be putting $600 million into the shipyard there, and this is good news for cruising. Currently, cruise ships that need to dry dock need to be pulled out of the water, whether it's for maintenance, whether it's for repair, whether it's for upgrading. They currently have to do transatlantic sailings because the dry docks over in Europe are the only ones that are big enough to hold the majority of today's cruise ships. Now, the one in the Grand Bahamas can take, say, a Radiance of the Seas size ship, but it definitely cannot take an Oasis class ship, cannot take an Icon class ship, and cannot take a Carnival Cruise Line XL class ship. Well, this new project is going to change that. The Grand Bahamas wants to become the largest shipyard in the world, capable of handling all sizes of cruise ships, including Royal Caribbean's new Icon class. Now, what this means for cruises is they won't have to do as many transatlantic sailings to get over to dry dock. If they need to make emergency repairs, let's say the Carnival Vista, which has had some recent engine trouble, if she had to get dry docked, would not have to go over to Europe. Instead, would be able to go down to the Grand Bahamas, get dry docked, get repaired, and get back into service that much quicker, which would mean less cruise cancellations over last-minute dry docking. Now, they're bringing in some new floating dry docks currently being built over in China, are expected to be here in the Grand Bahamas in 2025 and in 2026. So hopefully these changes will have a positive effect, not only on the cruise line, but the new job creation and the amount of money that will go into the Bahamas, of course, is good news for the locals. Next up, for those that need distilled water on Carnival Cruise Lines for your CPAP machines, Carnival Cruise Lines has added that to the pre-order items that you can have delivered to your stateroom on embarkation day. Now, the distilled water will be going for $5.90 when you purchase it. Be there, be ready in your stateroom for those that need it, which means you don't have to carry it on board. You don't have to ask for it. If you know you need it, you can pre-order it, have it in your room just like you can water, soda, energy drinks, and some alcohol choices on longer cruises. Now, people have been asking for this, how to get it on board. Carnival has heard, Carnival has listened, and they've added it to their pre-order list. Next up, we have a cruise cancellation, one from Norwegian Cruise Lines, the very first Alaska sailing of 2025 on the Norwegian Bliss. Well, it has been canceled. Originally scheduled for April the 2nd of 2025, the 10-night Alaska sailing, well, Norwegian canceled it for what they're calling a ship redeployment. But normally if you hear ship redeployment, that means that the whole season is canceled. That means the ship is going to be sailing from a different port, a different itinerary, a different location. Well, however, this is only one sailing that has been canceled for redeployment. Just the April 2nd sailing, because the Norwegian Bliss will begin her Alaska sailing on April the 12th and still do the 2025 Alaska season. Now, Norwegian didn't say exactly what the ship is going to be doing during that 10-day period. Ship redeployment is the only explanation they gave, but it could mean something as simply as the cruise ship was chartered during that time period, but Norwegian has not said. Now, guests booked on that sailing will, of course, receive a 100% full refund and a 10% future cruise credit to use through December 31st of 2025. And finally, well, we got two cruise ports with a little bit of a price increase. It's going to be Cozumel, Mexico and Costa Maya, Mexico, because starting in 2025, it will cost each and every cruise passenger an additional $5 when visiting those ports. Now, the revenue from this tax is going to improve tourism infrastructure, natural disaster prevention measures, and enhancing security in these two destinations. Now, this will go into effect sometime in the beginning of 2025. They have not given the exact date that will go into effect yet. And just to kind of give some estimated numbers here, in 2023, Cozumel received over 4 million cruise passengers. Well, charge them an extra $5 a piece, and you can see that is well over $20 million in new revenue just in Cozumel alone. Now, this fee is only $5. It will be rolled into your cruise price. So when you book your cruise in the future for 2025 and beyond, it will already include that $5 tax increase. So most people won't notice it. But the one thing it didn't really mention and they didn't really specify is that what about those cruises that go to both Cozumel and Costa Maya? A lot of the ones out of Galveston do that. They visit both of those cruise ports. So is that going to be a $5 increase for the cruise or a $10 increase if you visit both cruise ports? And this is a growing trend that we have seen over the last year. Cruise ports putting additional taxes on cruise passengers. We saw this in the Bahamas. We, of course, have seen this in several locations over in Europe. And it is probably something we will continue to see going forward as these places that cruise ships visit looking for new ways to generate revenue. Well, why not get it from the cruise passengers that love to go there? At least that seems to be their way of thinking. All right, and that is going to be our video for today. If you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.